9:30.
I'm gonna hit it.
Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our gathering hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Well, good morning to you all. I'm Rebecca Riggs, she, her, and I'm a long-term member here at VUU. And I, along with one of our resident poets, Ann Schneider, will be leading our service this morning.
And I am Ann Schneider, another long-term member here at VUU. I'm really happy to be here with you, and thank you for coming. It's great to see all of you here. I want to thank Rebecca and Lynn, especially for help with this service, and all the musicians and the ensemble, and the accompanist, and Nick, and everyone else, and Laura, and everyone else who has helped put this service together. I'll admit to being a little nervous about this service and worrying about that maybe we'd forget something. So I shared my concerns with Rebecca and with Lynn, and Lynn said that she had a friend who was a memory doctor, and he did checkups. You're on memory, just like you get checkups on anything else. And if we wanted to, we could go to the memory doctor and have a memory checkup. So I said, okay, let's go to the memory doctor, and all three of us go to the memory doctor and check our memory. So he started with me. He said, Ann, what's 3 times 3? I ran that through my head, and I said, it's 274. He didn't say anything. He didn't even laugh like you. Didn't say anything. But he just turned to Rebecca and said, Rebecca, what's 3 times 3? And she ran that through her head and said, it's Tuesday. He still didn't say anything. He just turned to Lynn and said, Lynn, what's 3 times 3? And so Lynn said, well, it's 9. He said, that's right. How'd you get that? She said, it's easy. You subtract 274 from Tuesday. I promised I'd only tell one joke, so that's it for now. This is our annual poetry service. The poems are all mine except for one. Please remember, I'm not a professional poet at all. Poems are a hobby for me. But I think many of you also have some kind of spiritual or aesthetic practice that you do. So maybe it's writing or art or photography or hiking or taking a road trip or meditation, or maybe just an aesthetic experience of all those ordinary things that happen every day. That's what we're trying to tap into here today. I'm thinking of you, Mary Erickson. Aesthetic experiences.
Our opening words are Anne's poem, For the Beauty of the Earth. It is to start us thinking about the theme for this morning's service, which is the question, what is enough?
A canyon full of trees, river, rocks, cliffs, and clouds.
One tiny but not insignificant human, unseen multitudes of critters, insects, life, death.
Experiences, spirits, thoughts. The river reflects it all.
For today, can this be enough?
And now, if you'll join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Rebecca lights the flame, let's say them together. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice.
Well, good morning, everyone, again. Welcome, and thank you for venturing out on this delightful July day. Isn't this nice? We strive here at VUU to be a community that is truly welcoming. Whatever gender pronouns you use, whatever labels society has given you or you have given to yourself, we want to welcome you here in the fullness of your being. And since we're not all here physically together in the same space, we want to say hello to all those who are joining us on YouTube. So if we could wave up there, say hello, and thanks for joining us. Thank you. I hope that for just a little while you can leave the troubles of the world behind. And one way of helping that happen is to turn off cell phones and other noise-making devices. I also direct your attention to our flex room, which is over here on your right, where is a place that you can get away, either yourself or with a little one, if you just need to get off for a bit. There is a TV in there that will be showing the service so you won't miss anything. And we almost always have guests among us, and we want to celebrate that. So if any of our new or returning guests feel comfortable doing so, we'll ask you now to stand for just a moment so we can see who you are and make sure we get to say hello to you later. Thank you. We'd love to have you all come again. And we invite all visiting adults first to sign in using that QR code, and also invite you to join us for a welcome circle. You'll see it'll be right down there near the window up front. And it's a good opportunity for us to begin that process of getting questions answered and getting to know each other better. I do want to let you know that it was in happenings that this is an all-community service, an intergenerational service, but it's not. So after the kids have their time for all ages, they will be leaving. For those of you who may need a listening ear, we always have pastoral care associates available on Sunday morning. They are a patient and attentive presence for whatever you may need to share. In the sanctuary this morning, that will be Dan Schulte, which here he is. Thank you, Dan. And he'll be up front here after the service. Online today, it'll be Lisa Bonine. She is, will contact you through the chat, or you can contact her. And she'll also be leading the Zoom meeting after the service online. And then we also have a Caring Neighbors group that can help in so many ways when you find yourself in need of some extra care or some extra help. They can always be reached at caringneighbors@vuu.org. So now, with all those little bits of information complete, please remember, above all, you are so very welcome here. Now, on to the music.
And our opening song is number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table. Words will be up here. We often sing this in the fall when we have a cornbread communion. Let me invite all of you to come back. Don't wait till fall, but come back in the fall when we sing this song. But this morning, let's think of that table more poetically or aesthetically. We simply sing to welcome everyone to this sanctuary, and we hope that someday all kinds of people with all kinds of styles will be welcome at every gathering everywhere in the world. So please stand in body or spirit. Let's sing together. We're going to sit at the welcome table.
Makes a difference.
Okay, now I'd like to invite any kids that we have, I hope we have at least one or two, to come on down for the Time for All Ages.
Come on down. Come on down. Don't be afraid. There they come.
I know that you guys, when you go off to your classes this summer, you've all been talking about jet pig, which seems like a really strange thing to be talking about in a religious education class. But do you know why we talk about jet pig? Any ideas? Can you spell jet pig? What does it start with? J. J stands for justice. What comes next? E. What does E stand for? Equity, right. What's next? T, which is transformation. These guys are good. All right. P. What's P? Ooh, that's a hard one. Anybody got it? Plurality. Okay. All right. Now we're on to I. What's I? Interdependence. There we go. Okay. And G. What's G? Generosity. Yeah. And if you're anything like me, you'd never remember all those without jet pig. Right? Okay, it helps us, right? It helps us remember that. Well, once you guys leave, the rest of the people stuck here are going to be talking about what is enough. What is enough to make them happy? What is enough to make their lives feel worthwhile? What is enough? And you're going to be talking in your classes about the T, which is transformation. So I was trying to figure out a way to put all that together. So what we're going to do is we're going to spell enough, okay? And then we're going to think of all the things that are things we might need enough of and how that can help transform us. Okay, so let's start with E. Can you guess what E stands for? There's a pretty big hint up there. Energy, right. We all need energy, right? And how do you get energy? What do? You eat food, right? That's one way. And sugar and water, right? And then our body has to transform that and give us the energy we need in order to do anything, right? All right, let's go on. The next letter, N. Can you guess what all those pictures are about? Nature, right. Now, some people might say that you really don't have to have nature, but I would disagree. Okay, I have to have, well, we're getting there, okay? To me, having enough nature in my life is to give it a little peace and perspective. Okay, then what's next? You got it. What's O? There's your oxygen. Yeah. We are not going to get very far if we don't have enough oxygen, right? Yes, and our body transforms that. Yeah. Okay. What do you think the next one is? U for understanding. Now, some people might say you don't have to have that, but I think you have to have that. Yeah, you've got to understand yourself. You've got to understand other people. You've got to understand the world around you. Yeah, and that's what we go to school for, is to try to learn enough that we can transform our thoughts to include understanding. Okay, next. Now, I see a bunch of people and pals and friends, but our letter is G, so what do you think that is? What do you think? Oh, well, generosity would be a good one. I should have thought of that since it's in JetPig, right? But I didn't. I thought of G as a way of describing certain friends. Good friends, right? Okay, I have some good friends. Now, I need friends all over the place, but I need a few special good friends too, just to be there when I need them, right? Okay, and finally, what do you think that one is? Holidays. Yeah, we need holidays because we need reminders through the year to take just an ordinary day and turn it into something special. So we need to remember, okay, that there's some special days mixed in there. Okay, so that's what I came up with. Now, you might come up with something totally different. So what I'm suggesting is that sometime this week you go with the adults in your home and you talk about what's enough for you, what you think is good, what you have to have enough of to have your life really good and meaningful. Now, watch out, parents. You never know what's going to be good enough for them, right? Okay, so what we're going to do now is let you each pick up a light, and then we're going to sing them off with a lot of light and love. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit to sing This Little Light of Mine. Feel free to clap along on the offbeat and move your bodies a little bit if you can. So, 2, This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go,
Well, now we begin our quieter time of centering. And we want to share with you the poem, Enough. Now, this will be followed by just a moment of silence and then some music. But feel free at any time through all of this to go and light a candle or place a stone or add water to the fountain as your own personal ritual honoring whatever is in your heart. Most of us have been told at some point in our lives that we're not enough, and that hurts. Pay special attention to the last lines of Anne's poem. They give me hope.
The poem is called Enough. Scoff at me if you must. Say I do not do enough. Point your self-righteous finger, spill your angry words into the world. Say you do not need my version of work for justice. I've heard you clear across the years. You're not radical enough. You're not black enough. You're not a real feminist. You're not a real American Indian. You're not woke enough. You're not marginalized enough. Am I not angry enough? Am I not passionate enough? Do I have to hate enough? Scoff at me if you must. Say I do not do enough. And I say to you, come down from your thundering cloud. Take my hand in love, not hate. Together we can be enough.
Please stay seated for our centering song and sing to how the river in our souls tells us that we are somebody. We can be enough. Please join in singing, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river
I want to make sure no one feels rushed lighting candles or going to the fountain. There's all sorts of time. I am now going to start the reflection part of our service, which we have broken into 4 parts. And this first part is about the internal anxiety that often leads us to ask for ourselves, what is enough for me to get through whatever life holds? For me to be happy? For me to face what scares me?
I did not really write this first poem. My son Jeffrey did. He was hit by a car while riding his bike. This was almost a decade ago, and he suffered a traumatic brain injury. He has recovered, but he was in ICU for 2 weeks in a quasi-coma. I began to think that life did not hold much for Jeffrey, that maybe simply being alive would have to be enough for him and me. But then on day 16, he opened his eyes and spoke. He asked if he had gotten his paycheck. I knew then that he was going to be okay. But as he regained consciousness over the course of several days, he spoke simple sentences about his anxiety and his fears, which I have put together and called it a poem.
Now, while most of us have not been in a catastrophic accident, we have all experienced anxiety from being in a totally new situation, waking up to a new reality, not knowing what to do, wondering what the future will be like, and hoping somebody has a plan, not knowing what's enough to help make it through. Jeff and Ann's poem is called Existential Anxiety.
Don't know what I'm doing here. My prior life is gone. Woke up. Everything changed. What is next for me? I'm not sure it's possible that I will heal. I've got to decide. Is this TV good for me? Think I'll just lie down and do nothing. A whole day has passed. My work is now my health. I need to know what is next. I don't know what to do. How do I get out of here? I need to decide. What is it going to be like? Don't know what to do. What is next? I don't know what to hope for. Not sure this will ever work out. Is there a plan? Does anyone have a plan? Don't know what will be enough to get my life back.
Existential Anxiety. I love the title of that poem because we've all been faced with it. Anxiety for us in today's roller coaster world could practically paralyze us, or at least me. But there are ways to help us cope. That's what this next poem is asking of us. Trying not to be overwhelmed. Is taking it one day at a time enough?
How much I thought of as enough changed drastically as he recovered. But I wanted his whole life back, not just some part of it. And one day, several weeks later, I was watching a hawk circling in the sky. That hawk right there. And I imagined how that hawk got through each day, one day at a time. And that came, here's the poem that goes with that. The hawk knows only one day at a time. Each one lived and then forgotten. Soaring, floating, landing, sleeping. No plans, no worries, no hate, no love, no to-do list, only living one day at a time.
Keeping this image in mind, we move on to a special music piece. It's called Carry Me. The lyrics so wonderfully express both the anxiety and the hopefulness in our lives. Oh, my heart, carry me through this world of dark and light. In my grief, grant me peace. In my joy, let me soar. Gentle friend, let me sing melodies to give you wings. On to part 2. Just another way of viewing the question. For most of us, just being alive does not usually feel like enough. So what else do we need? Can the magic of friendship and community be enough? Maybe not always, but those ties that bind friends together can hold us when we need them the most.
This poem is called Long Ago Friends. There must be something special about those friends from long ago, magic in those ties that bind, those threads that pull us back, that gather us in like the folds on a Japanese fan. Till now is next to then, and the time between has never been. Long ago friends, there is magic in those ties that bind.
Long ago friends, gathered like the folds on a Japanese fan. I love that imagery. And while they might not always be enough, they sure help. Tackling anything big is always better with friends than trying to do it alone.
I wrote this next poem after I and a group of women friends from VUU and many others from all over the state joined a 3-day, 60-mile walk to raise money and awareness of breast cancer research. Did any of you do a 3-day, 60-mile walk? Barbara Soroff, you did. Maybe some of the rest of you did. But the poem is not just about battling breast cancer. It's about friendship, working together, and supporting each other, and that is fundamental to what we may want in our lives. Friendship is always to be honored, whether it turns out to be enough or not. But this poem is called We Took a Walk Together. We took a walk together on the sidewalks, along the canals, into the bike lanes, and down the urban trails for 3 days, for 60 miles, 1 foot in front of the other, 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 on and on and on, stretching out about a mile, then 2, then 3, then 4, as the day wore on, then 3, then 2, then 1. We talked, we walked as quiet companions on a common journey, our minds on friends and struggles, our minds on blisters and sunburn, 1 foot in front of the other. On and on and on we walked, with hope, with fear, with caring. Will our walking together be enough?
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing to guide our feet, as we put 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, and walk together. Number 348, Guide My Feet.
Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide
We're always searching. We're always asking, what is enough? To give my life meaning, to make a difference, to bring some comfort. Next, we move on to express one more possibility. For many of us, we turn to nature, and this is especially true for Anne. Can the beauty and wonder and the endurance of nature help us find inspiration for what can be enough in our own lives?
This poem is called The Implausible Flower. It was a flower that caught my eye that day along the desert trail. A small red flower had pushed its way up through the rocks and sand to stand beside the great saguaro. Implausible to find a wild Texas red phlox around a trail in the Sonoran Desert. It was too soft to be in a place where even the trees have thorns. It was too delicate to be a desert plant. It was too fragile for the wind and heat. How long did its seed lie dormant, waiting for the tiny drop of rain that would launch its short, beautiful life? And yet, the small, wild red phlox had pushed its way up through the rocks and sand and lent its beauty along the desert trail that day. Could the strength of this one red flower inspire me to see what would be enough?
The strength in nature can inspire us. Like that implausible red flower. And often, so can just the beauty in nature. Sit some evening and watch the world as the sun sets. Maybe we can learn to let it help us reach that threshold we're looking for, a threshold of enough.
This poem is called Waiting for the Sunset. Sitting outside, waiting for the sunset, quail step lightly along the trail, rabbit jumps, startled by the dove that flounced into the mesquite tree. The coyote far away howls exuberance for the day. Chipmunk stands in prayerful pose, small body trembling with its bird-like trill, waiting for the sunset, waiting for the deepest red, the brightest yellow. Is there something else I should be waiting for? Not that I know. Waiting for the sunset. That's enough.
And sometimes in nature, it's not looking and appreciating either beauty or strength. It's wholeheartedly interacting with our world. Now, both Anne and I can do a lot less hiking and rock scrambling than we used to. But I still value the reminders of what is enough, reminders that seem to come more easily when out hiking up a trail or climbing among the rocks. Sometimes it's enough to take life one handhold, one foothold at a time, valuing inches of movement and learning to rest.
I am not, nor ever was, a rock climber. But one time I watched the climbers inch their way along El Capitan in California. And it occurred to me that their determined, careful movements could teach me about what it takes, what is enough to keep moving in difficult situations. So even if I've never climbed a rock myself, I wrote a poem. Did rock climbing. I wrote a poem called The Climb. A sheer cliff is climbed one handhold at a time. Inch forward, plant feet, feel, move sideways. Eyes glued to the rock wall, tiny niches, tiny ledges. Plant another anchor. Stop, rest, then move upward again.
I'm going to ask you to rise in body or spirit one more time and sing together to express how we do our best to always keep climbing on. This is an old hymn, an African American spiritual, which I just love, so I hope you enjoy it too. We are climbing Jacob's ladder.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing on. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. Every round goes higher, higher. We are climbing on. Though the road is steep and rugged, though the road is steep and rugged, though the road is steep and rugged, we are climbing on.
So, what happens in our lives that causes us to even consider the question, what is enough, is both universal and extremely individual and personal. And we acknowledge that we find inspiration to explore answers from friends and from nature. But we must also look inside ourselves. What will be enough for us? And that will be different for each and every one of us. That is what we explore in this last set of poems. Anne expresses what keeps her going in this poem, On and On.
And so it goes, on and on, saying hello, telling stories, connecting, loving, feeling human, being vulnerable, emotional, spiritual, deeper and deeper. Life goes on.
What will be enough is probably a lifelong quest and question. There is no one right answer. What feeds your soul, what gives your life meaning, what is enough, is a journey. It's a religious journey that we are all on, whether we know it or not.
There were many years in my life when I decided I did not need a religion or a church to go to. I used my love of the outdoors, the desert, forest, critters, sunsets, sunrises. I had my friends. I had my work. There was no time for religion. But then I decided maybe I was missing something. And I found VUU. So I do like to think about the big, important questions of life. Where do we come from? What are we doing here? What are we to do here? Where are we going? And what is enough to give my life meaning? So I went looking for religion. And that's what this next poem is about. In fact, it's called, I Want a Religion. I want a religion that helps me find meaning in my life. Not fault with myself or the world. Gratitude for all that I have. Gratitude, not guilt for what I have done or what I have not done. Courage to confront my challenges, not fear. Appreciation for what we hold in common and for the ways we are different. Curiosity about where we came from and what happens when we die. Awe in the beauty of the world. Mystery and questions, not dogma and final answers. I want a religion that reminds me to find all that is enough and then to keep on searching.
Our religion, a search for what is enough and to always keep on searching. Let us stay seated and sing of our religion. The song is Be Our Religion.
Be ours, our religion, which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple of space, its shrine a good heart, its sweet old truth, its ritual works of love. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple of space, its shrine a good heart, its sweet old truth, its ritual works of love.
Anne and I found a half dozen more poems that could have fit into this topic. Aren't you glad that we decided not to? Considering what is enough could keep us thinking and conversing and imagining and exploring for a very long time together. But as we close our theme, we have one more poem. In fact, it was the poem that inspired us to explore this concept of enough in the first place.
And it's called Sometimes We Seek, Sometimes We Find Just Enough. Sometimes I love too much, and sometimes not enough. Sun and wind hold me just tight enough. Mockingbird sings to me just cheerful enough. Desert flowers bloom for me, just colorful enough. You're my friend. You love me enough. I'm your friend. I love you enough. Yearn to have just enough.
Amen, and blessed be. Now we move on to the offering. There are many ways to contribute to this community. We need the support of each and every one of you, however you can give of your time or your talents or your money. This, our offering time, when our ushers come forward, is an important part of our ritual, an important visible symbol of our financial support. However, there are many ways to give. texting, emailing, QR codes, online, even old snail mail, whatever works for you. What is important is that together we offer our support. And as they take up the offering, we have more special music. It's Draw the Circle Wide. And that is what I believe we must do to have enough of whatever it is we need in our lives. Draw our circle of awareness, our circle of appreciation and strength and care so wide that no one ever feels like they stand alone. Open yourself to the widest circle you possibly can, and hopefully that will come to include what you define as enough. The ensemble will ask you to join in singing at the end.
And this is our closing message to all of you wonderful people who came today. Until we meet again, it's another poem that Rebecca and I will read together. Until we meet again, may we each make someone a little happier than they might otherwise have been.
May we find a meaningful moment in an otherwise ordinary day.
May we believe enough to be comforted, yet doubt enough to learn.
May we give peace and hope to someone who hasn't enough of either.
May we feel deeply enough to laugh out loud and to let the tears flow.
May our outstretched hand always find someone to touch.
And until we meet again, I will hold your hand in my heart.
Please join in saying our chalice extinguishing words.
Oh, I'll leave these. Though we extinguish this chalice, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love,
And fill our world with compassion until we meet again. Go in peace.
and with a little poetry in your heart.